Good morning, Claire here in the Pacific Northwest Puget Sound area, Grow Zone 8B. This week has been a little bit wild. A lot of things that we were sort of expecting and some things that we did not popped up, such as my son getting a tooth pulled and our water heater breaking and us having to replace that. So the house has just been really disheveled and kind of up in arms as we've been taking care of that because we're a blue collar family and we fix our own stuff if we can. So I'm just going to make this a catch up with me video and I will narrate about our week as I show you some things that we did do. This week started off with like a really beautiful sunshiny day, and it seemed like we got maybe about 4 of those. One of the days got all the way up in the 60s, and it was the very boost of vitamin D that I needed to get that springtime energy moving and get the things that I've been needing to do and wanting to do, but it had been just too cold and rainy to do it. So one of those was to really drastically cut back these rose bushes. And I don't know much about roses. These came with my house, and I've just kind of tried to learn a little bit as I can as I go. But these are so spindly, and I'm hoping that I don't cut them too short, but they really go wild. And I cut them down like probably a foot from the ground last year, and the stalks that they created were probably like 5-6 feet tall. So I'm kind of wondering if it might be a climbing rose, but I don't know what variety. So, it feels kind of like I'm a rose surgeon because I am trying to be very mindful of where I'm cutting and what branch I'm cutting off, and, how far above the nodule and what angle. I'm probably overthinking it, but anyway, I did put out my Easter sign, and I still have my October Halloween doormat out there, so I should probably get that changed. One rose tip that I was given is that I need to strip off all the leaves, all the growth from the previous year before I do any trimming, pruning, because it helps you see the bones of the plant more. Also, the juices and all that stuff to the plant aren't going out to those inactive leaves. And I found it to be really helpful in really being able to see. So I know that I did not do that last year, and I'm excited to see if it makes a difference in the amount of blooms that I'm able to get and just the overall health of this plant, because this one is my absolute favorite. I can't wait for it to bloom and show you guys just how magical this one is, because it's like makes roses the size of my face pretty much. The weather was so great that even this boy got to go out and do some fishing, which he's been begging us to for months. And we have our little friends. The cat is just taking a little nap, completely unbothered by these chickens. He could not be careless about them. Also, one of the main recurring requests in my house, Connor asks, is can he dig holes? And where we'd planted that cherry tree before was a giant hole that had been dug before right in the little yard. So I told him I would have a project for him to dig. And that so happens to be some bare root raspberries that we bought from the farm store. And these things were only like $6.20 for a cane. And then they were 20% off on top of that. So they were basically free. That's my rationale. So we got 3 of them, and we're going to put them in this area kind of next to where the blackberry bushes naturally kind of grow beside that. And so basically we just had to do some digging, and I had to cut down those bamboo shoots that were kind of coming in through the other side of the fence, and pull up some random random blackberries that were growing over there. Just little small ones. If you don't get careful out here, they will overtake everything. So you gotta cull some of the blackberries. And then we were just trying to make a nice little home for our little root plants to spread out. And we kept finding earthworms, so Connor kept going over and feeding them to the chickens. And he had gotten pecked a few times, so he was kind of leery and afraid to get close because they were getting kind of aggressive, but they each got a treat yesterday. I think they were pretty happy. And of course, there's still lots of earthworms in the ground to be a friend to our new raspberry plants. While digging our holes, we found this random egg in the yard. So we dropped it in the hole and we thought like maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but we'll just see. So Connor checked and it was 1,000,000% a rotten egg. It was so nasty. But hopefully that'll just be some good fertilizer in the raspberry hole. We'll see. And here we are just finally planting our little plants, and we actually got to use some of our chicken compost for the first time in an actual gardening project. So I'm just so thankful for these little chickies and everything they do to provide food and help us make nourishing plants, hopefully. So hopefully we'll just have 10 million raspberries thanks to the help of their little scratching around in our compost pile and their other presents that they leave for us in their chicken coop. So in the process of going to get wood chips to put on top of the raspberry bushes, I broke the fence like in half, bringing my wheelbarrow through. So then, of course, it was up to me to fix it. And I just realized I am not a carpenter. Mad props to those of you guys who are, because I was not built to weld a hammer. I don't think I'd be a good blacksmith or anything that requires that, because I not only hurt myself once, but I smashed my finger twice and the nails kept coming out. But I did get it fixed. For this next segment, just pretend like it's Laurel and Hardy or Charlie Chaplin. I'm going to speed it up. This was Connor wanting me to help him climb a tree. And, I like to think of myself as an active person who can do anything, but I could not do it. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just help him do it? And it was quite the scene. Neither of us got in the tree, so now we are formulating a plan to get some type of ladder situation going. So after a long day of ongoing shenanigans, we decided we wanted to go do something to reset, because later that night we would be doing our water heater. And so we just wanted to do something fun and family and memorable before life got really frustrating with troubleshooting putting the new water heater in together, me and my husband, after the kids went to bed. So this place is called Browns Point Lighthouse, and it's really cool because they have like the big barges and big giant cargo ships coming by, and of course the rocks and lots of throwing them. And then we finished the night with going to our favorite little diner that has been open since 1933. And then we had to come home and get to business, but it was a full moon, so we were hoping that wasn't a bad omen. The water would not drain, so we had to move a completely full water heater out to the yard. Happy to report that the water heater is completely installed. The old one is not currently laying in our backyard. We're trying not to be those kind of people. And here are some glimmers of things that are actually growing in the yard. This cherry tree is starting to bloom, And my ranunculus from last year are coming back. And then I bought a new rose bush. It is a climbing rose to go on my trellis in the front. And here is just a little update of all of the bulbs that we planted. And they're coming up and about to become, some of them, daffodils. And see that that's a foxglove behind that. And there is, there's a crocus plant that we dug out of a ditch and planted it in here. So maybe those more of those will come back next year. And I do fully intend to weed the dandelions out this week. That is on my to-do list. Also on my to-do list is I want to dig all these rocks out in this area, and I want to plant some actual flowers, not dandelions, this year. Thanks for sticking around and taking a peek at what we've been up to this week. I hope you come back next week after I've had a chance to deep clean my house from all the places we had to drag the hot water heater through. and I will update you what's been going on in the garden and hopefully cook something delicious. So you guys have a blessed day, and I will talk to you next week.